Sky Squad, we are back in the building, baby. Happy Monday to you. I don't know if you guys are off for the presidential day or whatever. I think that's today. But, happy Monday to you and happy day off to those of you who are off in the United States. And to our international friends, thank you for tuning in and tapping in as well. Good morning, everybody. Okay. We are going to be discussing The Real Housewives of Potomac Season 7 Reunion Part 1. And before we even get down into the get down, of course, you guys in the chatterization, let us know where you're watching from because we a bit nosy and we want to know where our people are, okay? Go ahead and let us know down in the comment section down below. And for our special lives, be sure to text me at 202-918-3386 so that I can tap into your cell phone, not in the hackerization type of way, but send you a text message when we go live, all right? So just let me highlight a couple of people. We got Texas, we got VA, we got Tennessee in the building, hey, Louisiana, Louisville, Kentucky, Jacksonville, DC, Bahamas, baby, Houston, Texas in the building, Miami Beach, baby, Horn Lake, Kansas City, Chicago, Memphis in the building. I see you. Come on now. Come on, Washington. Come on, Georgia's in the building. I see you, Charles County, Maryland, Jamaica, Charlotte, Cincinnati, North Carolina, South Africa's in the house, baby. Come on now. We got Nashville, Canada's in the building. I see y'all all over the place. We are Manchester, England, baby. First place I actually went to when I went to England for the first time. South Florida, Dublin, Georgia. Be more, baby. I see you. Right up the street, Macon, Georgia. Hey, love you too, boo. All right, y'all. Let's get into the biz naive. So we got to rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 10. All right. We got to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. On a scale of 1 to 10, I need y'all to put y'all ratings in the chat. I was thinking about it. I'm gonna give it an 8.5. I'm gonna give it an 8.5. I was thinking about it afterwards. I see we got some pretty good scores in here. Y'all actually, giving better scores than I did, which is kind of rare because I usually give better scores than y'all do. Y'all be the tough critics. I be the Paula Abdul, and y'all be the Simon Cowell. But today, I feel like I'm the Simon Cowell, and y'all the Paula Abdul. Lorenzo, thank you for that super chat, and thank you for that 8.5. 8 for Candiace reading Gizelle, baby. Listen, if we had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10 for each person, I'm going to tell you, Candiace would definitely get the 10. You know what I'm saying? Whether you like Candiace or not, baby, listen, the woman is a wordsmith. And she, what's so great about her this season is that I feel like she did not get in her own way. I feel like she has calmly stated her points, stated her facts. She's always been a wordsmith, but I felt like she was just nobody really got to her, it seemed like. And I felt like that allowed her to tap into something inside of her that just, I don't know, she went in, but she didn't have to get out of pocket to go in. All right. And that is true. Karen barely said 2 words this episode. Well, she did ask Mia some questions. She did have some questions from Mia. I don't know if y'all picked up on that, okay? I do believe that Candiace deserves first chair as well, okay? I believe that as well. Lorenzo said Gizelle was stuck like Chuck. Stuck like Chuck. Let us remember that term, stuck like Chuck. I like that. All right. So I give it an 8.5. Let me tell you why. I give it an 8.5 because it seemed kind of tame to me. But I will tell you the things that I did enjoy. I enjoyed the beginning montage of them all getting ready. I do enjoy, which I do feel like, again, I think I said this in another video, that could use a 30-minute digital special. I do enjoy the shade that Andy was delivering because let me tell you something. Last night, Andy I felt like he was finally on point, okay? Finally on point. He starts shady in the beginning when he's going to visit the ladies. When he asked Robin, is Juan going to be here? Are you so glad that Juan is here? Or are you so glad that he's not here? Okay. And so when Robin said he had to work, Andy was like, "Oh yeah, that's exactly what I thought." Because he know what's up at this point. He know what's up. Not only did we, and we're gonna talk about it, but woo, baby, he got all the way into Miss Ashley Darby last night. I was like, "Oh, Ashley, oh no, girl, oh no, this was not Ashley's night. It was not. Oh no, it was not Ashley's night. It was not Gizelle's night, and it was not Mia's night. Oh no, these three ladies was in the hot seat. All right, so let's tap into exactly what happened. All right. First of all, I got to say that as they are doing their introductions, Karen yawning during Robin's talk about her marriage had me in stitches. Okay. So much so that I had to put Karen on the thumbnail because I was just like, usually I'm going to tell y'all a little bit of tea. So how I typically make my thumbnails are I usually look for really nice pictures of the ladies or whoever, right? I usually look for the best photos. I do a little splash of an edit on it. You know what I'm saying? To make sure that they pop extra, especially now. They pop a little bit extra. You know what I'm saying? So they look good. You know what I'm saying? Even if I got to talk about them, even if I got to give them criticism, I still want them to look good. But I had to put this photo of Karen yawning up there because it took me out. Okay, it took me out. It did. It took me out. And that's just that. So let's get back into it. All right. So the first topic is, the seating. And he does talk about how, the seating was a puzzle that they had to put together. And we talked about this in our video yesterday about how, that was his explanation. But as many of you guys pointed out, and I even thought this when I saw the seating arrangement in the beginning, why not just put Karen, Candiace, and Wendy on one couch? That would have made the most sense. I would have put Candiace in the first chair, Karen next to her, and then Wendy. Boom, bada bing. Gizelle, Ashley, Robin, and Mia all on the other side. That's how they set them at the Real Housewives of Potomac panel during BravoCon. I don't know if you guys recall that. They actually switched the sides. It was Karen, Candiace, and then Wendy. And then it was, I think, Gizelle, Robin. No, I think it was Gizelle, Ashley, Robin, and Mia. So I'm like, why not do that? That seemed like it would have made more sense. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I can't call it on that one. Lorenzo says Karen was hilarious and didn't say much at all. Exactly. Karen don't have to do much. All right, so let's talk about Ashley and her unconventional divorce and her unconventional marriage. And her $13,000 per month mortgage that she will have to rely on Michael to help her pay for. All right. And the fact that she is 7 minutes from Michael, and the fact that he can come over at any point in time because he got a key to her place, she got a key to his place. But the caveat is he is supposed to give an hour's notice. Okay. I don't know how that's supposed to work. This seems like he got her on a leash. Let me just state it like it is. It seemed to me like he got her on a leash and he got her over a barrel on all this. Can you imagine Michael Darby is somewhere right now laughing? Thank you, Miss Amara, for becoming a member of the Skye Squad. Can you imagine Michael Darby is somewhere laughing his butt off right now? Lorenzo says she has shown how not smart she is. Thank you for that super chat. Lorenzo's on fire today. Okay. So yes, I just feel like yes, yo, girl, you are on a tight leash. Okay, a 7-minute leash. You might think that you're gonna have an hour, but you got 7 minutes for as long as it takes him to get to your house in traffic. Okay, that's how long it's gonna take. Period. Apparently Luke, the guy she was dating from Summer House, told her she needed to set better boundaries with this man because Michael had to run him off too. The prenup didn't work in her favor. Michael is dating. But we did learn that she can file for divorce this month, but we don't know whether or not she has or not. Now, I saw Ashley about a couple of weeks ago when I had to see. This is also why when I talk about people on this channel, and I'm saying what I'm saying. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying what I'm saying, and I'm standing 10 toes down in it. But if I change my mind tomorrow, I'm allowed to do so because Wendy Williams said that's what you can do. Okay. Now, but what I also state is when I talk about these people, I have to talk about them from the perspective of the person that can actually run into them when I'm working somewhere, like I do at Good Day DC, when I run into Ashley. So when I'm saying something about this person, I try to do it in such a way that it is okay. If I see this person and they want to go off on me, like, okay, cool. I said what I said, but I ain't say nothing too bad. I ain't say nothing that won't true. Okay. And so I say all that in the spirit of saying this. I'm about to talk about Ashley. Ashley, you know that I love you, girl. I do. I do. Ashley's a sweet girl when you meet her in person. She just got a spirit. She got a little swagger about her too. But I got to talk about you now. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. And don't be mad about it because I got to do my job. Okay. Now, from that perspective, and I'm just giving you guys the caveat because this is the real, right? Girl, you cannot get no alimony. You're not going to get half of what this man got. She don't even know how much money he got. And apparently there is some language in the documentation that if she has difficulty, then she can maybe get some type of support or something like that. And baby, let me tell you something. The comments from the ladies, especially Mia, okay? Mia is like, you clearly don't share that same commitment to monogamy. Basically, what Mia was trying to say was this. Y'all had a situation where you was doing threesomes and stuff like that in the beginning. And if you want to stay in that situation, and if you want to stay happy in that situation, you're going to have to keep doing what you was doing when you got that person in the beginning. Now, I think that's true and partially not true. I think that people grow and evolve. And again, like I said earlier, if somebody changed their mind, they change their mind. But when you change your mind, you got to also be prepared that person is going to expect what they came to expect in the beginning. So now that you're not giving them three ways and whatnot, you got to be prepared for whatever comes your way. Because at this point in time, Ashley's like, well, I'm a mom with kids now. I don't really want to be doing these three ways and stuff like that. But Michael is like, I don't care. I want my three ways, allegedly. Okay, according to what she's saying. So I'm like, Mia does have a point, but at the same time, I feel like, does everybody feel like doing a three-way for the rest of their life? No, maybe you don't. I don't know. I can't see it. You know what I'm saying? So, I think in that situation, Ashley would have wanted to have done some provisions in that marriage before she got involved with this man. Okay. Let me go back through the comments real quick because I see we had several before I continue. Let me go back through. Hold on. I don't want y'all to think I missed anything. All right. All right. So we got Simply Shamar who says, didn't she redo that prenup twice? I mean, yes, that's a good question. I thought that there was some type of redo, like some type of post-nup thing that had happened. I got to go back and watch those episodes because I'm like, girl, like what did you really do? Did you do anything? Did you sign? What did you do? Hey, Tony, thank you for becoming a member. We appreciate you. Bruce says, I felt like Wendy should have sat next to Andy since a lot of the drama centered around her. Jizzers should be on the floor. She brought 0 to the season. I feel like when the drama that Wendy had was definitely big, but I don't know. I just feel like the overarching drama was Candiace and Gizelle, but it never really got settled during the season, which I feel like is crazy. Natasha says, if they had seated them the way you are suggesting, would have made the colorism issue more prominent, in my opinion. Well, I feel like this. You listen. I'm talking about what makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I feel what you're saying, Natasha, because I've seen that comment before. But I also think that sitting Candiace next to Andy would have been the right move because, again, she had a great season, but she also had a really big drama for the season that carried all the way through to the end, right? And even to now. And I would have sat Karen in between her and Wendy because I felt like Karen was the next person that had the most drama. Well, I guess towards the end, right? Because Wendy also had a really big drama with Mia. But I felt like because Wendy's drama was with Mia, they weren't going to sit Wendy second. You know what I'm saying? Because Mia was sitting so far on the end of the other couch. So I don't know. Lorenzo says Ashley keeps up too much garbage to not be able to handle her personal affairs. Mia is correct also. Thank you for that super chat. Everyone loves Coco says Ashley gave up all her youthful years on that old man to walk away with nothing. Isn't that crazy? That is so crazy. Thank you, Sweet Cherry, for that super chat. We appreciate you. Donzi Riv says Candiace hit her with the Nini. You are not smart. That generational wealth comment was on point. Wendy came in with the assist about Gizelle's messy ways. We about to get into that. The generational wealth conversation. Let's talk about it. Because one thing that comes up that Andy just, it was Andy with the 1-2 punch for Ashley when he said, there are questions about you, Ashley, saying that Candiace is the least accomplished when it is Candiace who is right now, performing on stages, traveling, doing the movies and the television shows and going to the Grammys and this and that and the third. And you, my dear, cannot even afford to pay for your home yourself. I was like, oh, and even Andy had to say, now that was mean. Okay. And I was like, it was Andy, but I was like, wow, who went back into the archives for that one? Because that comment did not age well. It did not age well. I audibly gasped while I was watching. I was like, I cannot believe he said that. But I mean, and then Candiace chimes in and she's like, she thinks it's odd that everybody in their person, and listen, everybody had a lot to say about Candiace's generational wealth with her mom helping her pay for her townhome, right? And she says that Ashley now can't even get a house on her own. Okay, she is having to do so with the help of the man that she is divorced from. I said, oh, Lord, this was, and listen, it's not funny, but the fact of the matter is, it's the truth. That's what's so bad about it. I was like, Simply Shamar says, you can't tell me Andy doesn't make those questions. Baby, let me tell you something. Andy went all the way in on that one. Lorenzo said, made her bow down. Okay. Rosa Santos says, Ashley being married to a rich old man is not an accomplishment. Ashley cannot stand on her own 2 feet. Thank you for that super chat. We got another one from Rihanna Thomas who says, Andy was making sense last night, and that's when they should have packed it up. Okay. Packed it on up, baby. Packed it on up. JMW says that issue wasn't addressed because production would have mixed it up. Chris is smart to do it on the reunion. I don't know about. Listen, here's the thing. Yes, I do agree that he's smart to do it on the reunion, but I also agree that from a story perspective, if I'm the production person telling the story, I need y'all to have a conversation to wrap it up. But production, it seems like, did not intervene. So they captured the reality that it did not happen until it did, which we will talk about in a moment. We have another super chat from Pinky S. Carr. Thank you for that super sticker. We appreciate you. All right. So we learned that Ashley is going to keep Michael's last name for the children. And she has to clarify that Michael is a great parent, because I guess during the episode, there was something that she had said about him, her arguing with him. And then one of the kids was yelling at them to stop yelling at each other. And listen, that probably made him feel some type of way. But if it's the truth, then it is the truth. Okay. If it's the truth of the matter, then it's the truth. Okay. Was you yelling? Did Dean tell you to stop yelling? And if you did, okay. And if you don't like it, stop yelling then. Okay? Okay? I feel like she gotta now run back behind him and clean up all his mess, which is essentially what she has been doing since she started on this show. Now that I think about it, she has been running behind this man, cleaning up his mess since she got on this show. And now in season 7, he is nowhere to be found. He ain't nowhere. left her with not a thing, okay, in terms of what she's able to say to us, okay, except for paying for or helping her pay for the home for which he has a key, for which he lives 7 minutes away and can be there in the blink of an eye. Okay. We have another super chat says seating Candiace needed to be first. It's giving colorism. Karen and Nick had no business sitting next to Andy. Katie had been told us. Ashley dumb. Eek. Thank you for that super chat. Let's get into it some more. Tony says Andy and Candiace were both on point last night. I mean, listen. I could not believe my ears. I was like, oh my God, Andy is awake tonight. Okay. Because let's just be honest about a couple of things real quick. Sometimes Andy be like in and out of these reunions. And maybe because he do so much, you know what I'm saying? The man is accomplished. So he booked and busy. But sometimes being too booked and busy can leave you like really unaware of what's really going on with the shows. And so I felt like he was tapped in, tuned in, and dialed in last night. And I was here for it. Okay. Toya says Ashley should have gone down to Lorton or Woodbridge, purchased herself an affordable home. Sis need to get a legit trade. Listen, because 13,000. Hopefully he taught her how to invest well. You know what I'm saying? Because the man is investing, and he invested in such a way that anything that he apparently made during their marriage was from his previous investments. So she's not even able to tap into that. So I'm hopeful that he taught her something in this mix, because the man is financially able to. Financially, the man is savvy. Okay. I mean, we got to call a thing a thing. Let's call it a thing, people. Let's call it a thing. Neon Day says, kudos to Andy for taking notes from the king. However, you can keep the same energy with the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, ladies. Okay. Potomac is easy pickings for him. Yes. I mean, he does need to keep that same energy with a couple of people. Erica Jane. Lady H. Hannah says, Ashley had to clean it up to get that monthly cash app and that key. Y'all so silly. I mean, I wish the best for Ashley, because again, outside of the show, Ashley is amazing. Okay, she's amazing. But in the confines of the show, woo, girl, listen, woo, last night was not a good night for you. Ashley needs to get a lawyer to blow up that prenup on the basis that she did not have ILA, independent legal advice. Ooh, now that's interesting. That is very interesting, Joan. We got another super chat from Carolyn, who says Ashley should have been trying to secure the bag instead of bringing the Sesame Street characters around. I mean, you know what? You know what? Thank you, Carolyn. I appreciate that. All right. During the break, Ashley chit-chats with Gizelle about having a fight with Luke from Summer House and apparently it being over. It was something about her giving him a ride to Dulles or something like that. And I'm like, if you don't get in that Uber Black, okay, and call it a day, yes, it's $100, but you're on a show, you got a business and things like that. Pay that $100 and get to step in. Meanwhile, next up is Mia and her health. Okay. Now, we're discussing the health. We're discussing the move into the rental home in Potomac, the move out of the rental home in Potomac, okay? And whatever else is going on with her. Mia has a problem succinctly expressing what it is that she is experiencing and going through. This is Mia's biggest issue. And every time Mia speaks, she tends to say something that sort of digs herself into a deeper hole. I don't know what the health situation is, because as I was writing my notes, I don't understand it. All I know, or that I could glean from the situation, is she's okay. Okay, so we'll roll with that, because everything else, I don't understand. Okay? And because I don't understand it, I cannot criticize or give you correct feedback about it. All I can tell you is what I have experienced when I have had relatives go through their cancer ordeals. Okay, that's all I can say. And what she said last night, I don't know about. Okay, there was something about lymph nodes. There was also something about rashes. There was also something about breast implants. That's all I know. All right, I'm confused, and that's all I can comment on. Okay, and I do feel like maybe a good PR person would be able to help her streamline, these conversations so that when she is speaking, she's able to accurately convey what it is that she wants to say. Okay. JMW says Mia needs to speak coach ASAP. Now, when Mia was talking about her business, from what I know about setting up businesses, there is truth to what she is saying. But again, it is because Mia doesn't always accurately articulate herself that it comes across as confusing. All right. Do I think that it is good that Mia puts her business out there? That can work in your favor, and then it can sometimes not work in your favor. But I also feel like this is where a good PR person would be a great asset to her, because they would be able to tell her, hey, your messaging is off, or it's confusing, or it's diluted. Here's what you should say in your statement if you want to be open, transparent, and honest. And I feel like if she were to combine her desire to be open or get in front of the story, then with a PR professional who can tell her what to say and how to say it so that the masses can understand it, then she would be much better off. And the women would not be falling out laughing at her because it seems like she was stumbling through her words. Okay. Sensibility Speaks says Ashley made the same mistake Mary Harvey made by sharing the same lawyer with Steve. We know how that turned out. Thank you for that super chat, Sensibility Speaks. Let me see if I missed anything else. Now, there was speculation apparently online that there was her body might have been rejecting some of the augmentations that she's done. She said she did have a conversation with her doctor about the breast implants. They get into Wendy's hot mic moment about whether or not, Wendy called her a liar or not. And Wendy does admit that she did get caught on the hot mic and that she did believe that she was lying. But I didn't understand why Wendy didn't just say it in the time when Robin was confronting her about it. When Robin was standing up and getting about it with Wendy. But at the end of the day, they also have a little back and forth or whatever about hospital visits. Apparently, Mia mentioned something about Wendy's opportunistic husband filming her in the hospital or getting her something like that. And Wendy says she's sorry, but maybe your next husband will do that for you. Okay. So then is she the CEO of her own business? And then how can somebody take her business away if she is? So the bottom line is here. She says that if there are partners in a business, that one partner can take the other partner off of the business bank account. Now, I meant to call Bank of America this morning and ask that question, but I also think it could depend on maybe what the bank she goes through, because I wanted to ask that because I wanted to say that I heard that can happen, but I don't know. So I don't have the knowledge at the moment right now to tell you whether or not it's true or not. But if she says it happened, okay, fine. But at this point in time, that's when Gizelle kind of pops in and was like, well, listen, what you're saying to me sounds a little bit like, embezzlement.
Embezzle? Well, what money did you embezzle? Embezzle!
And so she says that, well, wasn't it that, y'all was taking money from the bank account and using the money to pay for your house and stuff like that, the rental home in Potomac and whatnot and whoop-de-woo, and the brother didn't like it, and therefore they took you off the bank account? Because it sounds a little bit like embezzling. Basically, what you're saying is that you telling Mia, girl, you sound like y'all was stealing, which is also a crime. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you that what it sounds like is that on a reality TV show, I'm going to tell the world that it sounds like what you were doing was committing a crime. Okay. That's what I'm going to say to the world. How do we go from there to embezzle? Embezzle? Like this, the severity of that statement and the casual way that Gizelle just explained it. It was just like, girl, do you care what happens to these people? Like in any way, shape, or form? Do you care at all? Like, I mean, like, I get it. You here to make some good TV and cash your check and go home. But it's got to be a line that you just going to say, you know what? I'm not going to cross that line, because she's already in hot water enough with how she's describing all of this. Why would I add fuel to the fire by saying embezzlement? Okay. That's dangerous to me. And I don't like that. I really don't like that, because at the end of the day, Mia may not articulate herself well, and she may get herself in trouble by putting her foot in her mouth. But it, in my mind, to just insinuate saying and say the word embezzlement, it don't even, that's a red flag for me. Okay. It's a red flag for me. And I told y'all, I said, remember when I don't know how many of y'all watched my Basketball Wives recap. Okay. But I talked about how the women seem very supportive of British going through her and all of her stuff that she's going through with the government and what she's done allegedly. But I said, if this was Potomac, they would be all over that. I said, can you imagine what Gizelle would have to say? And so now, looking at the situation and watching it back, I'm like, you just said it looked like embezzlement. But let me clear it up real quick. Now that you've explained it, I understand it a little bit better. I was like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Come on now. Angela says, I agree with me about Wendy's husband. Why is he filming while your wife is hospitalized? You should be praying and meditating, not interviewing. Child, please. Thank you for that super chat. Angela. Simply Shamar says, I worked in banking. You have to start a new account. Shamar, explain it further to me. You have to does one partner have to start a new account? Let us know in the chatterization. Let us know. Because I mean, for me, it was really the embezzlement of it all.
Embezzle? Well, what money did you embezzle?
All right. Tish P says, I work in the legal department of the bank. You need a court order to remove a signer from a business account. You can open a new account under the business and leave them off as signers and transfer money. Okay. So Simply Shamar also comes back and says, usually, thank you, Tish. Usually you can't take a person off of an account, which also goes back to what Tish was saying. And Simply Shamar says one person can close it, which goes back to what Tish was saying as well. The plot thickens. All right. At the end of the day, Mia is no longer living in Potomac, and she says that they're living off their savings and other money that's coming in. And she says they had rental homes in Charlotte because, they are bi-coastal. This is one of those examples where I feel like, again, Mia, oh no, you having homes in Charlotte doesn't make you bi-coastal. But if you guys are back and forth between, DC and Maryland and, LA, as you said, then that would make you bi-coastal. You would probably regional, you know what I'm saying? But, if you say that you guys are back and forth to LA, then yes, you are bi-coastal. That does mean you are bi-coastal. But, the Charlotte area, the part does not indicate bi-coastalness, okay? And this, again, just another example of, sometimes she doesn't articulate herself in the way that I think she could, but it could be nerves, you know what I'm saying? Because she is new. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm trying to understand it. So anyway, they had to sell those homes too, and they now live in the Maryland area. All right. Gizelle does think that Mia is smart for getting ahead of certain situations. And I do like that Mia is open about her life. And I do like that she's like, I'm going to tell you my tea because at the end of the day, it's nothing for me to be ashamed about. And I think if more people took that stance, I feel like, and granted, that's not for everybody to do because everybody don't feel like that. But I do respect it. You know what I'm saying? So I think I'm going to give her some points for that. Now, during the break, Andy and Gizelle have a little ponderosa, okay? A little tete-a-tete, while the commercials are going. And so Gizelle says, well, Andy, you are of the gays. Have you ever been with a woman? And so Andy's like, well, no, but I would like to. Why are we having this conversation? I don't know. And so, well, Gizelle is like, well, and she's like, well, how old are you? He's like 54. And she's like, well, if you haven't done it by 60, I'm offering my services. And he's like, I think that might be an HR issue. I was like, oh, Lord, Gizelle, just trying to do the good work. Next up is Candiace and Gizelle. So apparently, Chris apologized. Now, we have that apology text right here. Let's read it, shall we? Yes, we shall. So the text is a DM from Chris. It says, hey, I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to talk this season because I felt like it needed to be had. And maybe sometime you and Candiace and I can have that conversation. If I truly made you feel uncomfortable for that, I am sorry. But I'll be honest, I have been very angry about how this has played out and some of the words that have been used, and that is why I have been hesitant. I do want you to know that I respect you as a woman and would never do anything intentionally to make you feel any way. Today was Candiace's day, and I just wanted to celebrate her and I can't see the rest of it. But Gizelle is very happy to let us know that Chris did apologize to her. Oh, yes. He apologized to her, and that means that she was right. Okay, she was right. We're going to touch on that in just a second. All right. But the thing that's interesting to me is that I almost wish that Chris had not sent her that DM. And let me tell you why. I feel like his biggest issue, not his biggest issue, but the biggest thing that the women could use against him this season was his solo communication with them, in regards to DMs, hotel rooms, whatever the case may be. I personally would not have sent her no message, okay? And if I did send her a message at this point in time, I'm only sending her a message and I'm in a group message with her and my wife because the thing that he needs to do now is to protect himself because she, as she did, will use that information against him and to her advantage as she used in this clip right here. Again, Chris, like I get where I understand. You want to clear this thing up. You want it to be put to bed, but I don't think personally this was the way to do it. I really don't. Because again, I just think it's another way that it can be used against you as a DM. You know what I'm saying? Sliding into the DMs. I just, and I don't want that for you, sir. I do not want that for you because they have already taken you through the ringer. Okay. They had already taken you through the ringer. So if I had done it again, I would have tagged, it would have been the three. You know what? It would have had to been a three-way Skype. Okay. And a three-way Skype. That's what it would have been. A three-way Skype between me, Candiace, and her. Because I wouldn't even be in the same room with her again. Ever. Please. Okay. Now, moving forward. Gizelle thinks this is an admission of guilt, but Andy doesn't think it's an admission. Andy was not here for this, okay? And I appreciated Andy last night for the way that he spoke about this situation from the perspective of not only a viewer, but also like, somebody who's living in the now, right? So Candiace points out that he apologized to her before, okay, he heard all the things that she said about him. Now, what I love that Candiace did here was she pointed out the two things that we have been screaming about all season long. One, that Gizelle called Chris a sneaky link and that Chris was trying to see if she was with it. So at that point, when we get the flashback that she said it, I'm like, okay, yes. But Gizelle does what Gizelle typically does. Gizelle says, well, you know what? I'll apologize to him. And then Ashley chimes in, I ain't like this either. You don't need to become one of the pips. Okay, Ashley, you do not need to become the pips, right? And what I'm talking about is Gladys Knight and the Pips, you know, the Four Tops, you know, singing in the background. You don't need to become that because you, Miss Ashley, have got your own things to deal with. And we don't need you becoming one of the Gladys Knight's Pips. You know what I'm saying? Just shucking and jiving for Gladys Knight. No, Gladys Knight being Gizelle. Because at that point in time, Ashley chimes in and says, well, you know, Gizelle just put some stank on things. She put some sauce on it. Yeah. No, that's not. No. You might put some sauce on it when you say, well, you know what? I heard she wasn't, I heard that those Louis Vuittons was, you know, bought by her man. She ain't paid for those herself. That's putting some sauce on it. When you say that he was a sneaky link and you was trying to see if she was with it, what if Candiace had believed that when you said that? That could have been something that could have really been detrimental to that man's marriage. You know what I'm saying? That ain't just putting some sauce on it, baby. That is destructive. All right? Gladys Knight and the Pips. Tony says, why couldn't this reunion be after the Robin and Juan BS? Robin had the nerve to make a comment about a married man in a hotel room with another woman. The nerve. Girl, bye. Thank you, Tony, for that super chat. We got another one from JMW who says, Andy is redeeming himself, but I need him to spice up the suits. He needs to come into new trends with the suits, baby. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. We got another super chat from Rihanna who says, Candy told them at the last reunion they couldn't handle her words, and it's true. They always move the goalposts because they don't like her, but at the end of the day, the receipts are in place. Absolutely. Thank you for that super chat, but we appreciate you. Robin then chimes in to back her up. All right. Candiace says her problem is, you know, joining the Pips. You know, y'all know how they dance. Don't join in the Pips, right? Robin joined the Pips too last night. So Candiace says that her problem is that Gizelle waited until she was being paid for it to bring up this information and that she can take her own apology and she can shove it up her anus, okay? Then there's a discussion about whether or not Chris lied about asking her to go into the room. And so we get off that subject for a minute and we learned that she was able to retrieve 6 embryos. So go Candiace. And then the idea of assault comes up, okay? How does this come up? Somebody blames it on Candiace for bringing this up, but it was because Gizelle's girlfriend, although Gizelle blames it on thinking it was something that Ashley said, but the flashback shows us Gizelle saying that her girlfriend told her that Chris Bassett put his hands on her booty or something to that effect, right? And so then Robin said something about it in her confessional. Yeah, I heard that, you know, there was something about his hand and a butt. You know, Mia chimes in. She heard the same thing. It was a booty grab or something like that. So yes, an unwarranted touch on the derriere. I mean, what else do we want to call it? What do we want to call it? Because y'all adding, I mean, you adding on to the story, okay? You're adding on to the story. Not because we didn't even see that. We didn't see it. There's no flashback to show us that. Bougie on a budget Fiji rated says, Robin and Gizelle squandered an opportunity to have a real and relatable storyline about Juan and his cheating ways. I mean, alleged. We're going to say alleged because she don't believe there was anything that happened. So we're going to leave it at that. So then Robin pipes up to say, can we all agree that no married man should be in a hotel room with a single woman? Oh, I said Robin, girl. Now, are you talking from experience or I mean, what was your point? See, and I said it in our video earlier. Robin, just don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. You know, we talk about Mia having the problem of, you know, sometimes talking it like maybe not being able to really get her point across well, right? We'll say it like that. But with Robin, you're just talking unnecessarily, okay? When I say if you're gonna be in the singing in the background, I mean lip sync, okay? Lip sync. That means pull a Milli Vanilli and just mumble, okay? Mouth the words. Don't say nothing because you just continue to implicate yourself and make yourself look crazy. So if Robin said nothing in a situation that did not involve her, she would be fine, okay? Fine. Just don't say nothing. Lip sync. You know what I'm saying? Just give us the pips, but not live, okay? Rosa says Gizelle has no morals. Mia can go to... Yeah, like, that's the thing. Like, that's what's crazy to me. Thank you for that super chat, Rosa. That's crazy. I just... Oh, God. Like... So anyway, Andy says... It seems rather Victorian, like in the Victorian times, that a man should not be caught in a room with a woman when he is married, lest she come away with the scarlet letter written on her chest and on her bosom for all of mankind. And I'm like, Andy, pretty much they living in the Victorian times at this point, because it would be different if, like, it would just be so much different if the intent was to do something else. The intent was to have a conversation about his wife with somebody he felt like was close to his wife, period. In a discussion. If she felt uncomfortable, I can't argue with that. But just tell him, like, listen, let's have this conversation out in the hallway, because I don't even want nobody to, you know, have no type of, you know, inclination about anything going on. So let's just do that. That would have been so respectful. And now, I'm not saying it's all on her to do that, but what I am saying is, if she felt uncomfortable, I would be that. Listen, I'm fine with that. But to then put so much stank on it that it makes the situation spiral into something that could really be detrimental to his marriage, I just think it's wrong. It's just wrong. So anyway, Andy asked, well, were you doing this to protect Chris's reputation? And Candiace says, no, she was doing what she always does because her ish stinks. So Gizelle says, everyone wants to say, Gizelle goes after families. And Candiace says, girl, own your stuff. Because Gizelle starts pointing out who done said what about Juan and Michael and this, that, and the third. And Candiace is like, no, this is not, you're not gonna make this about everybody else. This is about what you're doing right now, okay, in this season. Let's talk about it. Let's really get into it. And so Andy says the criticism that Gizelle, you waited until the cameras came up. And Gizelle says, well, I waited because that's when Ashley brought it up, you know? And so I piggybacked off of that. And Wendy accurately tells her, I think for the viewers and the cast, that this comes as a pattern for you and that you have a problem. The problem comes is that she always has these issues when the cameras come up, right? And so Candiace says that she has seen her a few times, and Gizelle could have told her that, like at her album release party. So basically, you've had my number. All this time has gone by. We've come in contact with each other, but you never said anything about this. You know what I'm saying? And she tells Gizelle pretty much that you use the show to lie on people, and that her dwindling uterus was waiting for her to put it on TV. I was like, oh Lord, oh my God. Oof. That one took me out. But I mean, for me, it's nothing tops. I mean, nothing. I mean, and when I say nothing tops,
Embezzle? Well, what money did you embezzle? Embezzle?